In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
So I drank all weekend again.
Yeah?
Yep.
I drank Saturday and spent Sunday pretty hungover.
I drink Friday.
I drank Friday and Sunday.
I'm curious to know what Mikey was doing while he was drinking on Saturday.
Yeah, what were you doing?
Yeah, what were you doing, buddy?
Just hanging out with some good friends.
I heard it was
Lots of Marines.
a Satmar meetup.
There was a Satmar meetup on Saturday.
Where was it at?
It was at a place called Studio 210.
Oh, that's a pretty cool little bar.
It's actually not a bad little bar. Yeah. And apparently veteran owned, I believe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They let midgets in, too.
They do. Midget strippers it wasn't as cool as you'd think.
What?
It was fucking better. It was amazing.
Fucking redacted.
It was fucking amazing. No, yeah. It was a good time, man. Shout out to the Micro Maidens. You guys are fucking classy and awesome. No, I had a great time. It's not really stripping. It's more like a bikini show. Like they don't drop bottoms or tops or anything like that. Like which is probably a good thing because let's be real. They look like fucking children, man.
Well, way to keep it classy.
Like, do they measure their bra size the same, but it's different?
It's probably just all training bras.
But no, is it a set of D's on a midget the same as a set of D's on a real person?
Yeah, they're lowercase.
John. I was gonna.
Oh, I wrote bits the whole time I was there.
I think most of the time a bra size is measured in circumference, not height.
Like I wrote bits the whole time. Like you want to talk about the smallest C-section scars I've ever seen.
So now correct me if I'm wrong, but the letter is the size of the cup, and the number is their circumference around the back.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
That is, I got tested on this actually yesterday.
What fucking test were you taking?
So Abby,
Is this that homeschooling shit again?
God damn it. Nah, Abby found one of those TikToks where like the girlfriend is like asking her husband all these chick questions, and that was like the only one I got right. And she was like, "You got that right," and then was like, "Why the fuck did you get that right?"
Dude, I was sitting next to this black dude. He was sitting behind me, and we were fucking cracking up. He was funny as shit, and I was making him laugh his ass off. But he says at one point, all the midgets are on stage, and then there's like a 5-foot girl that comes out, and he goes, "Get the fuck out of here, regular tits!" And I fucking lost it. I was like, "Get your regular tits the fuck out of here!"
I didn't pay to see
I
that.
didn't pay to see regular titties. I wanted to see midget titties. Guys, it wouldn't be the Freedom Friends if we didn't talk about our number one sponsor, Warfighter Tobacco. Obviously, you guys have seen us all smoke them. We're here to talk about a quality product that everybody can enjoy. The great equalizer, as we've called it, the Warfighter Tobacco Stick. And it's not just cigars. They've got humidors, travel humidors, cutters, lighters, everything you need to get started on that journey. Check out warfightertobacco.com and use that code FTFO. Score yourself that sweet, sweet 15%. If you want to know my personal favorite, I'm a 762 Field guy. I like that Sumatra, real nice and even keeled cigar. Great for us beginner smokers, right? And I'm told that these taste even better when you're listening to the Freedom Friends podcast. Now, back to the show. This episode is brought to you by Grill Your Ass Off. It's no secret, we're all middle-aged dudes who love barbecue. Grill Your Ass Off is our main go-to for our spices. That's what we use, man. Whether you're doing burgers on the grill, steaks, or my personal favorite, a little bit of pork belly burn ends, right? They've got you covered on all of that. They also have salsas. They also have seasonings and spices. They got beer salts. They've got everything, man. Check them out. GrillYourAssOff.com/Freedom Friends Podcast, or use the code Freedom Friends Podcast at checkout. No, it was fucking. It was pretty mild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the bar only had one bar, so like you spent most of the time standing in line, like because there was only one bar open. Like,
right.
I would have ran it logistically a little bit different, maybe some beer tubs and whatnot. But
see, if I was that bar owner, I would have hired waitresses for this specific event. But the only requirement is they had to be over 6 feet tall.
Just fucking monsters.
That's it.
That would be fucking amazing. Just a bunch of Amazons serving people looking at midgets on the stage.
Still looking down at them while they're on the stage.
Yeah.
Did they offer any lap dances? Because I want to know if they brought their step stool.
No, they don't use step stools. They bring those little trampolines.
They did do lap dances, yes. But they did them all on stage in front of everyone.
Oh,
Right.
So like,
So if you were going to be a creep, you had to do it in front of everyone.
Yeah, you had to let your
Okay.
freak flag. So like basically what you would do is they would, after they got done dancing, everybody who wanted a lap dance from that specific stripper would line up on the stage and sit down.
Oh, that's horrible.
And then they would basically just go chair to chair.
What a blow to the ego for all those girls up there.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you're the one that didn't have anybody in line.
So
You know what I mean? I don't want to do this anymore.
it happened. It happened.
Oh, no.
And I rallied some boys and I was like, guys, get up there and show some love. And they're like, yeah, all right. So I got like 10 dudes to go up there for this fucking one, who now follows me on Instagram. So,
Oh, you got a sympathy follow.
yeah. Yeah.
who did? Mikey or her?
Her.
Okay.
I followed back. No, it was an interesting evening. But yeah, and then we ended up going to Thirsty Horse, as you do.
Yeah.
And closed that down and got trashed.
Yeah.
So shout out to my boy Jonathan for driving me. Appreciate you, dude. Yeah. Got home at like 2:30,
Nice.
knocked out. That was that.
Oh, I think I drove you home from one of those.
You did before.
And it was, probably around later than 2:30. If I remember.
Yeah, this one actually I left at like right before, like at last call I left this time. Like, and we had parked out back, so I snuck out the back, so I didn't have to like go through a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It
Nice.
was a good time. Good night. All in all, good night. Pretty mild though,
Yeah.
and as well as other meetups that I've had with the boys.
Right.
This one was pretty mild.
Nice.
Wasn't bad. How about you? What were you drinking on Friday?
Friday. What did I do Friday? Oof.
So long ago.
Circle back. I don't even remember.
Scott, I love the fact that you drank on Friday, but you don't know what you were doing while you were drinking on Friday. I love that about you.
The VA says this is not combat related, by the way. That I can't
service
remember
connected.
what I did
Yeah.
Friday.
Okay, so what'd you do Sunday?
Sunday I floated the river. We
Okay.
took the kids and we
Did you
floated.
fall down and hit your head?
I did not.
Okay.
But I was trying to drink easy.
If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911.
Right. So I brought one of those bottles of pre-mixed margarita mix.
Whew.
Yeah. I think,
How was your heartburn last night?
actually, I didn't have it. Was strawberry lime, which I thought would have been terrible.
Yeah.
And I followed it up with some pepperoni pizza. So I was expecting the worst.
Where did
Yeah.
you sleep last night?
In the
In a chair?
well, I
Were you
slept,
sitting up?
I slept in a chair for a little while. But yeah. But no, my heartburn was fine.
I would have to sleep sitting up like this
Yeah.
if I did that. Otherwise, I will die in my
I drank that whole fucking bottle.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Did you add tequila to it or no?
no.
Ooh.
So it's not it's the pre-made with booze in it
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, because I was trashed and really faking it if it had no booze.
That's a hell of a
It's called a
placebo
sugar
effect.
high.
That's a placebo effect, my
Yeah.
man.
So
You go to the river with Jim.
no, we went to Republic on Friday. That's what we did.
Republic.
Cigar shop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's not
In
on
New
Sundays.
Braunfels. They're in green, technically.
No, we floated on River Road.
Oh, the place we were talking about
Yes.
with the camper
Yeah.
hookups and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually saw that guy.
The lazy L&L.
Yeah.
You know, like it was funny because we talked about this on the show last week, and then I saw that dude on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Him and I were fucking drinking together like almost all night. The dude that I told you that I married right there on that spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Before we get too far into this,
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about your trip too, but
but we'll get to that.
but you're right. Before we get too far into it, I
Yeah.
know that everybody wants to talk about.
We'll get to that. But what you're supposed to tell Justin to do something?
Oh yeah.
They've already played.
They already.
Oh,
played.
just kidding. Sorry, man. Okay, so
Too late to the episode, man. Come on.
everyone that's wondering about the debate.
Fuck our listeners. Play them again.
It's no secret. We're all middle-aged dudes who love midget strippers.
Everyone that's worried about the presidential debate that just happened last week.
Play them one more time. Fuck 'em.
Okay, now that those are over, we're gonna debate the debate on the debate.
Yes. So if you're expecting us to shit all over your favorite president and or former president, we're gonna do that on the debate. So tune into the debate.
Yeah. We figured it would be a whole episode of something. So being that we do a master debate, we'll see if our debate was better than their debate.
I would bet folding money that our debate's gonna be better.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna stand there the whole time like this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, enough of that. So tell us about your trip. You weren't here last week.
I wasn't. I was,
You went back to the motherland.
I was half here.
That's right. You left.
I left right before the end of the app podcast, and I missed the debate.
Right.
Because I had to go catch my flight.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, you left in the middle of the show last week.
That I was almost late to.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's because you had to go back home and then go back to the airport.
no, I factored all of that in.
That's an
I was
extra
still-
40
I
minutes.
was still
driving.
almost late.
Yeah.
Anyways, but no, I ended up going to Boston. Two reasons. One, we had tickets to Zach Bryan concert at Gillette. And then the second reason is my dad lives up there, and I haven't seen him in, I think, about 2 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, it was a great trip. Went into Boston and did some of the touristy bullshit. It was Mal's first time ever being there.
Like Independence Hall and shit like that.
Yeah, and went to Faneuil Hall, but it was actually closed, so didn't get to see the cool shit.
Yeah.
The gift shop's open. I don't give a fuck about your gift shop. Like, I want to buy something I didn't get to see.
Independence Hall's in Philly. My bad.
Yeah. Quincy Market, walked around
Yeah.
the North End, went to Mike's Pastries, went to, all the typical staple type, shit that you got to do while you're there. Went over to Fenway. There's actually a game I was looking at. We were going to go to the game, but they were playing somebody to give a fuck about. So I was just like, I really don't care.
That's not why you go to Fenway.
No, but I didn't want to get hammered and then have to try to figure out how to get out of Boston at the end. It was a 7:05 game at night, and all the public transportation stops at a certain time.
Yeah.
And so then I get an Uber, and it's going to be like a fucking $100 Uber trying to get out of Fenway. Where I got to walk 45 minutes and then find it. I was just like, you know what? How about we just skip the game? She's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm like, sweet.
Cool.
So we went back, and we ended up drinking Friday night anyways. Got pretty tore up.
Yeah.
But I had a great time. Went to the Zach Bryan concert at Gillette. That was on Wednesday night. And listening to 30,000+ people sing every single song that Zach Brown played was a little annoying, but it was pretty fun. It was a really good concert.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a weather delay up front because there's lightning in the area, which is the only reason they stop anything there, which blows my mind because Gillette's a stadium. So both sides, you got fucking massive. They're hundreds of feet high walls.
Yeah.
And on the top, they have lightning rods all over the fucking place. And I don't know if they know this, but I know this, that electricity chooses the path of least resistance. So if there's a lightning rod up there that's grounded, it's probably going to hit that before it hits that dude standing on the ground a couple 100 feet below it.
True.
But they still delayed it. So they finally start playing. They ended up cutting off the opening act, I think, a little early. And then Zach Bryan got up to finish his set. And he got about 8 songs in, and it just started pouring. And I was like, fuck. It's like, I hope they don't, 30-something thousand people in here. What are they going to do? They just kept playing. And it was fucking raining.
Rain or shine, bro. Rain or shine.
But it was pretty cool. No real issues, nothing.
Who was the opening band?
I have no idea.
Were they good?
Not really. Which is the shitty part because it's like, if you're,
A lot of times that's where you find like new good
Yeah.
bands. Yeah.
And it like, and I always say, because when we got into Gillette, there might have been like 1/10 of the people that were there for the show.
Right.
Like it was empty. Though there was probably 250 people right at the stage because obviously, you know, the diehards trying to get front row. And then it was like maybe two people out of every row. And there's probably, 15 seats in each row.
Yeah.
Then that was kind of about it. And then they started playing and people started filing in. And it was funny because, like, if you walked up to, like, towards the top just to get, like, a really cool open view of the stadium, like, everything looking down, it looked like just a bunch of ants because everyone was just coming in the same, you know, entrance ways.
Right.
But yeah, and then when Zach Bryan started playing, that's when it really, you know, filled up. But it's a completely sold out concert.
It's a beautiful stadium. Such a beautiful stadium.
Yeah.
I almost called you.
Yeah.
Because I made it to the East Coast last week too.
Oh yeah. Where were you?
I went to Philly.
Oh, nice.
I went to Philly for like 3 days for work.
Cool.
And by the way, I wanted to shout out somebody, a Freedom friend. He heard the show, and unfortunately, obviously there's a delay in the show, right? Like by the time they hear it,
Right.
it's already happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but Brian Edwards hit me up, and he was like, "Hey, Mikey, my name is Brian, huge Freedom Friends fan. Heard you're in Quakertown this week. I live in Q-Town and was wondering if you'd have some time to meet up and maybe grab a drink. I've been listening to the podcast for a few years, and it's gotten me through some bad shit in life. It would mean a lot if I was able to meet one of the people that got me through those tough times. Hit me up if you have time." And then he gave me his number, right? His number is 267. No. Unfortunately, I got this on Friday after I just landed back in San Antonio. Because I literally flew up. Like I came and did the show I did the Warfighter podcast in the morning. Left from here, went straight to the airport and flew there. Flew there on Wednesday, worked Thursday, and then flew out Friday morning, right? And came back home. And I hit him up and I was like, "Man, I was only there for a night, bro." Ended up working all of 2 hours, and then they just sent us to Philly, and then I flew out this morning. I was like, "I'll let you know next time, though." So next time, bro, if I do have to go back up to the Q-Town area, I will hit you up, bro. So appreciate that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Always good to meet a fellow Freedom friend out there.
Yeah.
And out there in the wild. That's a good time. So as far as Q-Town goes, good old Quakertown, it's exactly what you think.
Yeah.
Like, it is exactly what you would think it is. It's a very small town. But it was, I don't know, it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to hang out with probably the person I've known the longest in my life besides, like, family. My buddy Adam.
Yeah.
And I think I met him when I was like 1.5 years or 2 years old. So my parents moved in. I lived 2 houses down from him. And so Friday night, when we got pretty drunk, we went and hung out. So it was me, him, Mal, my dad, and then, you know, a couple random people from the bar. But some of the stories that got brought up were fucking gold. There is some shit that I don't really remember
You
what.
blacked out.
No, it was just like, I mean, I've lived a very interesting life over the years, and my brain only holds so much shit. So I only remember so much of it. And there's some of the stuff where it's just like my brain just decides, you know, you don't really need that much anymore. So
It sounds like a Sono shit story.
two of the things, right? So one of them, actually, if you go back to the earlier live feeds that we used to do, on one of them, and I don't know which one because we did a lot of those, but on one of them, Adam commented and he goes, "Tell the story about the girl in the wheelchair."
I remember that.
And I'm like, what fucking story about a girl in a wheelchair?
Yeah, I remember you not remembering.
Yeah, and I have no fucking idea. So I remembered when we were talking in Massachusetts, and this was a story that I used to tell, and I don't remember all the details because it was one of those, like, I would tell it drunk at a bar.
You ended up telling me this story eventually.
I think I did.
Yeah.
And what triggered it was, and this was a couple of years ago now, is I saw somebody either on YouTube or social media that was telling a similar story. And it was like, yeah, I'm going to tell you a story about this time I banged a girl in a wheelchair. And I was just like, it like clicked. And I was like, oh, wait. And then I listened to his story and I'm like, oh, yes. And so I was told this story by like this 60-something-year-old career bartender dude, right? And the way he told it was awesome.
That's because they have the best stories.
But from bartending, you learn how to be a storyteller. You learn how to take something and add or take? I mean, fuck, you do comedy now.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be able to do comedy if you didn't bartend?
I guarantee you bartending helped me on that journey.
You know what I mean?
I guarantee you. Yeah.
And so this was one of those things where he told me the story and I'm like, I'm stealing this. And he's like, I don't give a shit. And I'm like, cool. So I changed a couple of things here and there.
That's kind of what stories are for.
The
right?
long and the short of the story is I got set up on a blind date with this girl. And the best part is when I would tell the story in a bar, there was always we always went out with like a group of people. So I'd be like, oh yeah, John Stevens set me up on this blind date. You know, I didn't know who it was and blah, blah, blah. So I went down and everybody knows where everything is in that area of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And so you can use all these little cues to make the people be like, oh, if there's this much detail, like it can't be bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're down off of Route 18 and blah, blah, blah. And so I went and picked her up down there. Then I pulled up and, you know, I didn't really notice anything, but like walking up, I had to walk up like a little ramp, knock on the front door and, you know, her dad answers the door and it's like, oh, you're taking so-and-so out for, you know, dinner tonight. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. And he's like, hold on, she's on her way. And here she comes around the corner, fucking wheeling. You know, so we go to dinner and I get this whole elaborate story. You know, I wheel her back down and I get a pickup truck and I don't know how to, what do you do? You know, so I pick her up and I put her in the seat and I don't know how to fold this thing up. So I just put it in the bed of the truck and we're driving. It's
got to pull the middle.
It's bouncing around all over the place, you know, like that's part of the stories.
Yeah.
And so the long and the short of it is we go to dinner, we have a good time. And she's like, how about we go for a walk? And I'm like, you need a push? But like, okay, cool. So we go down to Webb Park, you know, which is down the street. And everyone's like, oh yeah, I know Webb. And it's really, you literally could push a wheelchair around it. So it's believable.
Pretty flat.
Well, ish. But
Okay.
you can get around it. Like, and so, you know, she's like, well, you know, let's pull over here and hang out for a little bit. I'm like, okay, cool. So, you know, she says something I can't hear. And so I lean in and next thing I know, she grabs my head and we start making out. I'm like, well, okay, I guess we're doing this, you know? And so one thing leads to another and I'm trying to figure out like, how are we going to do this? You know, like she's in a wheelchair. It's just not really like, you know, and
it depends on how broken.
yeah. And so she's like, if you pick me up, I can hold on to the branch. And I was like, you know, it's a good idea. So I pick her up and she grabs a branch and I grab her legs and they're kind of just doing whatever. And, you know, we kind of do our thing and that's it. We get her back, wheel her back to the truck, put her in, put the wheelchair in the back. It's bouncing all over the fucking place. We're driving back. So I get, you know, back to her house to drop her off. I pull up and I get the wheelchair out and pull her out and start wheeling her up. And her dad's standing there and I'm like, fuck. And I whatever name I made up, I'm like, you know, Mr. So-and-so, like, you know, I'm sorry, we might be a little bit late. I was like, but, you know, whatever. And he's like, no, I just want to thank you. I'm like, what the fuck are you thanking me for? And he's like, well, most guys just leave her hanging in the tree. But it's just like 15-minute story. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's great. And then the other one, which was
Justin liked it.
the other one that's even better is when I first moved to Boston, I still had an Arizona driver's license. And we used to go to, obviously, we went to bars like every fucking night of the week, but we'd go to bars and we start talking to people and I started talking to girls. I'm like, oh, what do you do? You know, and I'm a bartender, but like,
Yeah.
it really doesn't go far when you have conversations.
Sure.
Right. So instead of saying like, oh, I'm a bartender. Oh, where do you work? Oh, I'm going to come see you. You know, like, whatever. No, you're not. Like, oh, so what do you do? And I would just be like, one day, just out of the blue, I was like, oh, I'm a donkey show coordinator. And like, what?
I remember
And I'm
you
like,
saying
oh
this.
yeah, like, you know, I'm in Arizona, and you know, we do them down there, and it started down in Tijuana, and you know, this is kind of an untapped market up here, and so we're checking out different venues and looking for talent and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, no fucking way. I'm like, look, I even have an Arizona ID. Like, I'm not bullshitting, yeah, you know. And I would tell the story all over the place. It was so much fun because people would believe it. One of those things that you get enough details in there, you know.
Sure.
Until one day we walk into this bar. It used to be called Basta's. It was originally called Tabasco. Table, a bar, and some chairs.
Okay.
Right? It made sense.
Fucking love that.
Except they got sued by Tabasco,
Oh,
so he had to change the name.
fucking lame.
So he changed it to Basta, which was a bar.
Sorry.
So he changed it to Basta, which was a bar and some tables. But in Italian, Basta means enough.
Yeah.
Right. And so I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we walk in there one night and I walk up to the bar, order a drink, and I turn around, you know, grab a table and whatever. And about 20 minutes later, this group of girls walk in and And so they get drinks and they turn around, they start walking, they walk by the table, and this chick stops and goes, "Oh my God, you're the donkey show coordinator." I fucking lost it. I was like, no way.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah. So Mal got introduced to a whole bunch of degenerate stories of mine that I did. My dad did also, and he thought they were gold.
Nice.
Well, at this point in his life, he's no longer responsible for you. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, but him and I have a very similar sense of humor.
Well, I think as a parent, dude, it's probably nice to hear that even though your kid is a fucking wild, weird fucking psycho,
what the fuck are you?
At least he made it. You know what I mean? Like he fucking made it, which means I did my job as a parent. He made it. He's still alive. He's still great, and he's resilient now.
The funny part, right? So we tell a bunch of these stories, and my dad's like, "Hey, bring up that one story about the Christmas party, the fat cat." And I was like, "Oh, this one's gold." And I've told it on here before, and it was the first time that my dad and I smoked weed together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I tell this story. This is the first time I told this story in front of my dad. And I get to the part where the joint starts getting passed around, and my dad looks at me and he goes, "Oh, I don't remember that." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, I know we got fucked up that night." He's like, "We smoked weed?" I'm like, "Dad." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "At the end of the night, you told me you couldn't feel your face, and then you drove home."
It's this staple memory of my
That is
youth.
that is very, very Quincy of him.
From Weymouth, but still, yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
Well, you can take the guy out of Quincy. You cannot take the Quincy out of the guy.
No.
Shit. That's funny.
There's in my Facebook memories, I love them because multiple times these posts comes up, and all it is like, I fucking love Quincy trash.
I sent you a screenshot of one of my Facebook memories like day before yesterday. And I was like, no way this would fly. And I was like, I can't believe it hasn't been flagged yet. What the hell was it? I don't even remember what it was. I sent it. I texted it to you specifically.
Have you seen any of your memories that pop up on Facebook like that when you're like, ooh, and then you have to delete them?
Yeah.
I didn't even delete it.
I deleted a couple because they're at the time with context of what was going on at the time, it wasn't that bad. But you look back without context and it's like,
right.
Oh fuck.
This is what I wrote on June 27th, 2011. Get your redacted button ready, pal. And, hey, True Blood fans, glittery vampires are fucking stupid, and True Blood is one mascara-filled eye from being as gay as Twilight. Enough already. That's what I wrote. That's not that bad. We say shit way worse than that.
I was about to say, what am I redacting the entire sentence?
The whole thing. The whole thing.
What was with the do not use stairway when vessel is docking?
Oh, that was on the ferry that went into Boston. Oh my God! So we get on the boat and we're walking. We went upstairs. We were up top, and all the seats were filled. So I'm like, "Fuck this!" I'm like, "We can't sit inside. Like, we have to be outside when we're taking this in." It's a beautiful day. So we go back down the stairs, and right at the bottom of the stairwell was, and I don't know why it was here because it was at the bottom of the stairwell, like right up on top above the stairwell. And it says, "Do not use stairwell when vessel is docking." And I just stopped, and Mal giggles. And I was like, I'm so glad we're on the same page. And she goes right to Mikey. I'm like, yep.
Yep. It's so fucking funny. I always get like those, it's funny, man, because I always get like, you know, those it'll be like an Instagram video, and it's like your first has to live in this cabin in the woods with you for 6 months.
Is it me?
With food and with enough food, water, and you each get $10,000 or some shit, right? And it's always you or Mal. And I'm like, fucking say less, dude.
Like, I don't even need to share this. They know.
Dude. I was like, fucking totally, man. I'm like, yeah. Like, you kidding me? Fuck. So go ahead.
Well, I'm looking at some news coming through.
Yeah.
And Supreme Court sends Trump's immunity case back to lower court in Washington. So,
so they ruled earlier that a sitting president and his official duties is immune.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like diplomatic immunity.
It's presidential immunity.
Yeah,
It's written in the Constitution.
Right.
But if it's not official duty, then it gets reverted back to a lower court.
Right.
It could potentially It depends on what a lower courts judge decides on that. There's been the Supreme Court's been fucking killing it lately.
Well, they're writing a lot of shit that they're writing some ships that need to be righted.
Wrote?
Not wrote.
Ride?
Roaded?
Written.
Written.
Row.
Ruad.
They're writing.
Ruad?
Roots.
They righted the ship.
They've been
needed to be
writing some
righted.
ships that needed to be righted. Yeah. They're writing the rights. And don't get me wrong, they're not writing all the rights, but they're trying. And a lot of people have the argument that, well, that's because the Supreme Court is wildly lopsided right now, because it's stacked conservatively, mostly in part to Trump's administration. He put 3 conservative judges on the bench, right? Like, which is next to unheard of, right?
Right.
But this one says, North Dakota Governor Doug Berman, a potential running mate to President Donald Trump, on Monday called the Supreme Court's ruling that Trump may claim immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts as a, quote, big win for the country.
Oh,
Huh.
speaking of this, a potential running mate, right?
Yeah.
So, who do you guys think Trump's going to pick for a VP?
I don't know.
I said it before on the show, and I'm going to stick with it, and I'm saying it again. Ramaswamy.
I could see it.
I
could see it
I have
partially because he's the only one that still had his fucking back during the fucking
It's the only
primary
one that
debate.
isn't it's not politics. You're not a politician.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck do you want a politician in your right hand?
You know where I want him, though? Is press secretary.
Ramaswamy?
Yeah.
Oh, he'd fucking annihilate. No, I hope they bring back, what's her name? The chick that he had last time.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
She was fucking
There's
killing it.
no way they can pay her enough
Yeah, that's
of what
true.
Fox is paying her now.
That's true.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Oh, you want press sec?" She's like, "Fuck no."
You got to think.
Would you want it?
Fox will be there when she's done.
Would you want to be press secretary?
No.
Okay, if
Fuck
you were
no.
a journalist and
Yes.
you were working your way up, would you want it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, after you already had it and you can literally have any job you want in the world, would you go back and do it again?
Depends. It depends.
There's a hard no.
It depends.
It depends on what.
I don't know the perks that were available with that, right? Like,
There probably was none.
Like what?
I don't know.
Like slingshotting your career to the next level? Oh, hold on. Send me back.
I mean, you never know, dude. I don't know.
I don't know either. I think Tim Scott, and I don't think it's a good decision. I just think it's a basic, for stupid basic reasons, it's a decision. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're going to go with it. Like,
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I don't think Trump. I think he only does 4 more years if he wins.
that's all he can do. So
No, he can do another 8.
No, he can't.
can't.
Yes, you
That's
can.
not how it works.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No.
Nope.
Yes, you get reelected. You can get you can do a 3rd term if there was a space. Yes.
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
Well, no,
I remember government class.
I
and that's
could
what they
be
said.
wrong, but
I-
we have
and I-
a just.
Well, now I know that it happened with FDR, but FDR changed the rules because FDR did a 3rd term, right? But I'm pretty sure that if there's a break in service, you could be president again. You can do another 8 years.
I don't want to.
I think.
I'm almost 100% sure you're wrong, but we'll see. I don't know. I think I know. I don't think that's how it works.
What's it say there, John?
So, if a person succeeds to the office of president without election and serves less than 2 years, he may run for 2 full terms.
Yeah. That's like if somebody, like if the
Dies-
president
yeah,
dies, in
yeah.
office
If you
or
become-
something.
if you're
And
vice
VP,
president,
and
yeah.
that's for that.
But no, I don't think Trump can serve another. He's
Otherwise,
done after 4, I think.
a person succeeding to office of president can serve no more than a single elected term. So that then they would have to be elected.
But that's
That's if they do go over 2 years.
that's succeeding.
Yeah.
The 22nd Amendment limits the elected president to 2 terms in office, a total of 8 years. However, an individual can serve up to 10 years if what just happened.
Here you go.
First elected to be elected to the office of president more than once. Wait. All right. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice and no person has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years in term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of president more than once. All right, that's what he just said.
Yeah.
But the article shall not apply to any person holding the office of president when the article was proposed by the Congress, and shall prevent any person who may be holding the office of president or acting as president during the term which the article blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. No,
Everywhere that I'm seeing is saying that no, he can't do a third term.
Were you homeschooled too?
No, but what I'm saying is,
Hey,
is
I
think
knew that.
I think because he did 4 and then he left office, right?
but
but he did.
I
a full
understand
term.
your way
think-
of thinking, but you're.
But there's only a
you're
two.
not-
There's a 2-term limit.
Yeah.
Period.
But is it consecutively?
Doesn't matter.
No.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know if that's true.
Well,
That I don't know.
I don't know what else you need
Like-
to read it. But
Like, well, that didn't answer my question.
it
at all.
did.
It didn't.
Okay. The
That's not-
22nd Amendment was a reaction to Franklin D. Roosevelt's election to an unprecedented 4 terms of president.
Correct.
I didn't know FDR was a 4-termer. Wow. Justin, just Google can
I have can Trump serve 3 terms as president, and it's giving me a bunch of articles. But everyone that I see is saying no,
Okay.
he
It
can't
says
do.
no former. Okay. So
Yeah,
no former President Trump could not serve 2 more terms if reelected. Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's the 22nd Amendment. It's 2 terms.
No,
period.
I know that, but I didn't
Yeah.
think. I thought that was concurrently, not fucking
No.
collectively.
Yep.
Right.
That's
Like,
it.
But okay, that's cool. I stand corrected. Yeah.
It's the same reason why Obama is running everything and Biden's standing in place
Yeah.
Mm.
You
because
just have
he
to have a
couldn't.
puppet.
He couldn't physically be elected, so he had to have somebody else be there for him.
That's why his wife's going to run next time. He's going to have like 6 terms.
Fucking who knows, dude? Who knows? I won't vote. I won't vote for Mike though. Won't do-
This is a conspiracy podcast. These are not facts.
Michael Obama.
Yeah. Get that soft lane, buddy.
Yep.
Since apparently I'm not a real cigar smoker,
So did you guys talk?
according to TikTok.
Did you guys talk about the Hawk Tua girl?
Oh, I think we have. I don't know if we.
A little bit.
So I found this. I sent it to Justin.
It's great.
Yeah. So the Hawk Tua girl, Haley Welch, offered $600 to spit in a jar. Welch revealed during an appearance on the Plan Brie Uncut podcast, she was offered $600 to spit in a jar for a fan.
Okay. That's not a disgusting act.
It's not that. I mean, I've heard worse acts. Like I've heard of worse things. I don't know. Click play on the Barstool
So
thing.
I don't want to get copywritten. Yeah.
so it doesn't say if she did it or not.
Oh. Well, you probably have to watch the.
So this was another tweet that they put out. The full Hawk to a Girl video is out, and it's wild. And it's just the back of a chick.
Oh, well, that interview's been out the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just took that 5-second cut.
Yeah.
Um,
She did make a healthy. While most flash the pan moments burn out quickly, she managed to keep momentum high for weeks following the interview clip going viral. That includes selling more than $65,000 in merch, drawing serious interest from entertainment organizations, and even performing with Zach Bryan this past weekend. So you missed the
I
Hawk
love how
to
they-
a Girl, John.
well, no, that was in Nashville. But I love how they say she performed with Zach Bryan this past weekend. What really happened is he brought her on stage. She screamed into a microphone while he stepped away,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah. She probably just said, spit on that thing. You feel
No,
me?"
she
And then-
she sang part of one of the songs, but
Yeah.
clearly it didn't sound anything like Zach Bryan, and it wasn't really in tune either. But hey,
Yeah.
I'm not a singer. If they call me on stage to sing, I'd be like, "Good,"
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's the worst.
Yeah,
It's the worst thing imaginable.
but
You know how quickly I would hawk Tua into a jar for $600? I'd
Yeah.
fuck, I do it for free randomly during the day, anyways.
Bro,
Anybody who's ever chewed in their life.
Dude, I would, for $600, I would nut in a jar and just give it to someone. I don't give a fuck. It's $600.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
You might not want to do that.
what?
Okay,
I'm snipped, man.
that
You just got to pull a Drake and put hot sauce in it afterwards.
Ooh,
Yeah. Did y'all ever hear about that?
no.
So supposedly Drake hooked up with the chick and busted a load in the condom. And before he threw the condom away, put hot sauce in it so she couldn't get any ideas.
What a brilliant fucking forethought.
Yeah.
I don't think the hot sauce kills anything, but it's very uncomfortable if you try to put it somewhere.
Yeah, she's not gonna fucking freeze that one and throw it up there.
Yeah.
Like,
It was like, how bad you want this money? Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna earn this fucking child support.
That's funny.
I just imagine he's got like a pipette. He's just like whoop, whoop, and ties it off and throws it.
That's a little MRE Tabasco jar.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm glad. I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember putting some notes in my phone for the podcast while we were drinking one night.
Okay.
And I did. So have you guys ever seen or heard of the show on Netflix called Love Island?
Yes.
And it's a UK reality show. And they pick like the dumbest, semi-decently looking people and put them on the show. And essentially they're like, pick who you want to bang this week. Okay, we're going to bring new people in. Do you want to keep banging that person or do you want to bang someone else? Like, that's essentially what it is. And other than that, they say like 437 times in each sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the bright idea. And all my notes say is Love Island, space, space, space. But all the women are trannies and none of the guys know.
That's Love Island with a question mark. Love Island. Fuck.
I'd watch. Did
I
y'all-
bet you would.
That would be an amazing show.
Absolutely. I can't remember the name of it, but there was a one that came out recently where it's a whole bunch of like 20-year-old dudes and then all of their mothers
Oh,
go on the show.
Yeah.
And then your new buddies banging your mom out in
Yeah.
like the same fucking room as
Yeah.
you.
You know,
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's fucking sad.
when you sign up for one of these reality TV shows, you know what you're signing up.
Well, you might not know exactly, but you know.
You know.
You know it's not going to be good.
You know what you're
I
signing
don't
up
know. I
for. Like, you can't sign up for Fear Factor and not know.
I would.
You know
not,
what I mean?
I would not and could not do that. You know, like, and this is just me talking to fucking. I have friends of mine who've been on reality TV.
Yeah.
Right. Like we all do. Fucking Justin, for instance, Governale was on Naked and Afraid
Right.
twice. Right.
Yeah.
Have you heard his story about breaking up on like, so he hooked up with his partner during the Castaways one.
Of course he did.
He hooked up with her and then they had like this chemistry and they were filming it and all this. And then she broke up with him on the show. Right. But the cameras weren't there. So they had to fucking refilm it.
Oh.
The camera guys was like, oh, let's film that. Can you guys do it again? So he had to get broken up with twice for the show. Right. And then when he got off the show, he came home. He told the girl that he was dating that he'd hooked up with his friend. So he got broken up with again. And then they didn't even use that part of the footage for the fucking show. So he got dumped 3 times for nothing. Which moral of the story is deny. that's the but it's such a fucking like it's shit like that. Where, hey, can you guys do that again for the camera? Fuck you, man. Like, no, dude. Like,
But like, okay, say you're going to sign up to go on Love Island. You know what you're getting into.
for sure. I'm sure you
Right.
understand the premises.
But
of the
say
show,
you
yeah.
sit down at dinner one night, family dinner on a Sunday, and you're like, hey, Ma, listen, we're going to go on this show.
Together.
And nope.
Yeah.
What's a reality TV show you would do?
I always like the idea
uh,
of Survivor.
Yeah. I would
What's that one called? The Global Race? No. What the fuck?
Oh,
Amazing
the Amazing Race.
Amazing Race.
Yeah,
I
that-
would do that in a fucking
I
heartbeat.
had a buddy of mine ask me. He put in a fucking application for me and him to do that.
That'd be so fucking
Yeah.
cool. You literally have to race around the globe.
I would do Top Shot. That'd be a fun
Yeah.
thing.
That'd be fun.
Do they still make Top Shot?
I don't know. They had an all-star I saw the other day.
I mean, I was on Mail Call, but that's not really.
Were you really?
Yeah, once.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, when Arlie and we did the Amtrak one.
Okay.
I was one of the guys in the Amtrak driving.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was on Monster Garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Nice.
Yeah, we smashed a car that failed on the beach. we drove over it.
Cool.
Yeah. Jesse James, good dude, by the way. Even though just met your ex-girlfriend this weekend that stabbed you.
The midget.
Bridget, yeah. Yeah. What sucks, man?
Where was it? Like in the thigh?
It was a small cut.
It was a small knife. No, I think she stuck him in the fucking stomach or something.
She had to like jump.
Probably. She's very big.
Yeah, he lives in Dripping Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's no longer an LBC.
Oh, that's been fucking years.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you had to pay that first tax bill. He's
Right.
like, yeah, I'm
You
out.
know, Survivor though would be great to do now because nobody fucking watches it anymore.
Yeah, right?
Like,
You know what I would like to do?
Like, I couldn't do Naked and Afraid. I have bitch feet.
know what I would like to do?
I agree with that.
Like, I couldn't walk around
No.
barefoot. Like,
I'd like to do that show alone.
alone would be cool.
I think it would like, I mean, obviously there has to be some train up. We talked about this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
But that would definitely be one that like I would never get picked if I signed up just because why would they fucking pick me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They picked a fucking Air Force SEER instructor once.
SEER instructor.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like
and he didn't fucking make it.
no, I watched that one.
Makes sense.
No, he quit. And it wasn't because he couldn't do it.
He missed his family.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck you, dude. $1 million.
No, but
Are you
gotta,
fucking high?
you gotta look at
Alright.
if you watch that episode and you watch his setup, he could have fucking
He
went
could have
for, like,
fucking
years.
Yeah. Like he built a fucking cabin.
Yeah, but he was literally he just got to the point that mentally he was just like, you know what? Like, I'd rather be with my family than have $1 million.
So, you know,
Fuck that.
Air Force SEER.
But when you're by yourself in the middle of fucking nowhere,
So, you know, Air Force SEER instructors, that's their whole MOS.
yeah,
Like, they don't deploy.
no, that's it. All they do,
Is teach SEER.
yeah, and
really?
like his setup was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. I was like, when I was watching the episode, I was like, this guy's gonna win.
Yeah, he has to.
I was like,
There's
this
no way.
guy's gonna
this guy's
fucking
living
win.
a life of luxury.
Like he
right
had
now.
like food, water. He had
Everything.
he had
a legit shelter.
he had a legit shelter that like a bear couldn't get into
Yeah.
and shit. Like I mean, he had like fucking like fish traps set up. He was getting food every day.
Yeah.
Like all kinds of shit. And I was like, he just fucking quit. And I was like, fuck you, man.
I know, right?
Like I think it was like season 1. I think it was the very first season. But
Like all of those like Mr. Beast skits. Like I watched one where they put them all in a abandoned grocery store.
yeah.
Like I could totally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally do that.
The only thing that would piss me off is like when they start fucking with you.
Yeah, but still.
And it's like, dude, you're already fucking with me. Like,
Yeah, but like it's not like the fucking with that we got in the military. It's like
Right. It's like, if you do this, I'll give you 10 grand, but you have to quit.
yeah.
And they're like, well, I could use 10 grand. The one that gets me though is like when the grand prize is something fucking crazy. And they're like, I have a new iPhone. And you have that one person that's like, oh,
Yeah.
And it's like, for a fucking iPhone?
It's like I got an Xbox One or I got a PS5, and it's like fuck out of here, dude. I'll buy 30 of those
Yeah.
with the fucking $3 million you're giving me. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Did y'all ever watch Undercover Boss?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That was a cool one.
That was a cool one.
You know, okay, let's
What?
You couldn't be an
I've
undercover
been-
boss.
No, I've been thinking about Undercover Boss because this is going to go back to the debate, and I apologize for this. But Trump should have ended the debate with what job would you ever have hired this guy for in the whole world, right? Like,
Yeah,
one
you
job-
show me one CEO in this country that would hire him.
No, to be anything, right? But so I'm just picturing though Joe Biden as undercover boss, trying to do any job in the government at all.
You know what?
Huh?
If you when you put the any job in the government,
He could do S2.
I think he'd get away with
They
it.
just sit in a thing.
I think honestly, like if they had to do it for a month, his end of month review would be promote ahead peers
Maybe,
in,
like
in the government.
any job. Yeah.
It's like I haven't heard anything bad about it. Must be awesome.
No, but you know
Promote
what?
ahead
That's anytime that I run into and have a conversation with somebody that is like super pro Biden.
Mm.
That is going to be my next conversation with them.
Yeah.
Would you hire him?
To do anything. Any position.
I don't know. I don't even need to. Just would you hire him?
They already did.
No, but if say you owned a business, would you hire him?
No.
Would you hire Trump?
No.
Yeah.
Why not?
Fucking wouldn't hire either of them.
Trump would make a good CFO or CEO or
I don't.
Yeah, I know, right? It would be,
Yeah, like,
at least he has skills in a business.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because you like,
I don't know.
I don't know. We don't hire felons though, so I'm not sure.
yeah, we did.
Did we? Oh yeah.
That one's sitting in the corner over here.
Never convicted, bitch.
And we hired him before that.
That's also true.
Well, it was in the middle of it.
I was in the middle of it, actually.
Yeah, we definitely knew going into
He was pending felony
Oh,
shit.
that's right. I am a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right.
well, I believe there was a silver lining. I think you get a tax break for hiring a felon.
insurance.
That's what it is.
Yep.
You get an
Yeah.
insurance break?
You're supposed to.
I'm surprised they don't rack that shit up a little higher.
All right. High risk employee. Obviously.
Sorry, I robbed y'all of a discount.
Well, technically, you should get a tax break for hiring him too.
Me?
Yeah. Disabled veteran.
Well, I don't.
Uh,
I am not.
I'm not
hired.
technically employed.
That's true.
Well, we are, but
Well, and you would for you too.
we should look into it.
I know for combat veteran or for combat wounded, like if you hire like someone with, I think it's veteran preference plus 10, you know, like combat related or whatever, you know, I believe it's like 10 grand a year that you
Huh.
get a tax break.
I did not know that.
I think I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's it count.
I have another show. I'm curious. Would y'all go on one of those like monster hunting shows, like Skinwalker Ranch and shit, or like hunting Bigfoot
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I
or
would.
ghost hunters or anything like
No.
I
that?
would go on it just to fucking shit talk the whole time.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, did you hear a puh? Or a fuck off. Like, I fucking hate those shows.
Well,
I think the last time I was afraid of the
easiest
dark,
show
I
to
was 6.
fake.
Yeah.
It's the easiest show to fake.
But I think
Yeah.
the last time I was afraid of the dark, I was 6.
My favorite is though, is like they got like all this weird listening equipment that they've just made in their garage.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, did you hear that? It was a puh? Was it a puh? It's like, what, dude?
No,
No.
like if somebody drops you off in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, or an abandoned building, like
You know what really got rid of that fear?
Iraq,
Was putting on night vision for the first time. Like, oh, this is just like daylight.
Yeah. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
I think that what got rid of that fear was Iraq, because it's like,
I think puberty got rid of that fear.
well,
You grew the fuck up.
yeah,
And you're like, I'm
I
no
don't know.
longer scared of the dark.
I don't know.
Because-
I remember doing Nightland Nav and walking through like one of the hugest fucking, it felt like it anyway, spider webs of.
you're
that's-
just showing off your ninja skills.
That's a fear. That's a fear of spiders, not a fear of the dark.
Yeah, the
That's,
dark
that's
the,
arachnophobia.
the
and
dark
that's a real
allowed
thing.
you to walk through it.
But I'm not afraid of spiders if I can see them.
I fucking am.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say it. Like,
See, I don't like
dude,
snakes.
I don't like those either.
Like I'm not afraid of them. I just don't like them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like eating them. Fucking delicious.
Well,
But yeah. Well, like the same thing happened to me on a Habu trail in Okinawa. There was this fucking banana spider the size of my goddamn hand that
those
had
are
made
just
this
gentle giants.
that'll fucking kill you. Like, but it's fucking like, you know, you're walking to work and it's fucking 04.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, you're right. Ninja skills.
Yeah. The best is we're going to put them all together. Night vision and somebody else walking into a spider web, because you hear the commotion. You're on patrol going through the woods. Everyone's got their nods on. So everyone just sees green, but it doesn't pick up the little intricacies. Like you can't
Right.
see spider webs, the twig that pokes your other eye, you know?
Because you're on the mono.
Yeah.
You could if you focused.
If you focus to
3
here,
inches.
but you need to focus out
Yeah.
there. So yeah. So you're walking through the woods and all of a sudden you hear something and you're like, what the fuck? So you look. Whoosh. And then when you get over to them and you see this
Dude
dude,
going,
and he's just fucking.
the fuck is he doing?
Yep. He's ninja.
Oh,
That guy's
spider web.
he's a black
Got it.
belt.
Got it. I met a black belt on the plane.
Did he tell you?
To Philly? She,
Oh,
young kid, about 20 years old. Goes to she was on her way out to a wedding out in Pennsylvania. Teaches martial arts to kids here in Shirts. Actually,
oh, cool.
yeah. But she goes to school in San Marcos at Texas State she's a music major. So she's like, I just kind of stay in the music area. And I was like, that's cool. And I was like, so what are your classes like? She's like, I learned how to play like the fucking oboe and shit. She's like, it's like the good. I was like, you want to know what? Your piece of paper will look just like my piece of paper. Yeah. It's fine. I was like, you're good. So, yeah.
I didn't know you got a liberal arts degree.
I don't. They look the same though. It still says bachelor's of equally as worthless fucking. I might as well. Fuck. Not like you see me be in law enforcement right now.
You have the degree. Why don't you use it?
I'm all set. I'm all set.
I could see you and Rich Dirks working together.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Gather around, kids. Let's talk about it.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. You want to know what? I have a feeling I know why I couldn't be law enforcement. So, anyways, I was going to say something earlier. Oh, you brought up a funny name for the bar, right? What was it? The
Bassa. Tabasco.
Now Bassa.
Yeah.
What's the funniest like bar names you guys have ever heard?
I can tell you the best liquor store I've ever been to.
Okay.
Bunghole Liquors. It's on the North Shore in Massachusetts.
That's great.
We drove by it and I'm like, turn around. And my buddy's like, what?
You know,
I'm like, turn the fuck around.
John.
I'm like, I have to go get a t-shirt.
It should have been liquor bunghole.
Those Bunghole Liquors.
It should have been liquor bunghole.
Yeah.
It was that in the yellow pages.
Okay.
But yeah, those and they have multiple locations.
Yeah.
Or did. I don't
That
even know if they're still
That's
around.
a great liquor store.
But yeah, I made my buddy Byron. Actually, for two stories about Byron real quick. One, he was driving. Made him turn around so I can go back because I was like, they have to sell shirts. And lo and behold, we walk in, they have like the most horrible selection of booze ever and a wall of t-shirts. And I'm like, I fucking told you.
It's probably the main fucking source of income.
Right?
Merch.
And then the second story about Byron is when we went to Fenway, there's a bar outside of Fenway that's been there fucking for, I think, ever. I don't know if it's never not been there, but it's called Cask and Flagon.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little Irish bar in the
old
corner
as
of
shit.
fucking Lansdowne right there on Fenway. And my buddy Byron was conceived in Cask and Flagon.
No, that's right. You told me that.
Yeah. And before anybody thinks anything crazy about, his mom got banged in a bathroom or whatever, his dad was the manager of the place. So it was the back room, not the bathroom.
That's much classier.
They had a couch.
Yep.
I don't know. What do you think? What's the funnest bar name you ever heard?
I don't know.
We had a good idea for a bar.
We did. I don't want to air it
Yeah.
because it's still in the
Yeah.
back pocket.
It's still a just in case.
Yeah.
There was one in Oceanside, California. I used to go to all the time. It was OMTI, OMT, right? And it stands for one more. That's it. And I used to go there on Monday nights. They had Power Hour where it was 25-cent beers, and then every 30 minutes it would go up a quarter. So by the end of the night, you are fucking trashed, right? And you've only spent like $20. Like, yeah.
There's one in Phoenix, actually in Tempe, right outside of ASU. It was called the Library.
I remember the
And
library.
it was great because
Right there on Mill.
when it showed up on your credit card statement, it just showed up as the library.
Yep.
And so kids would go there with mommy and daddy's credit card, get fucked up, and it'd be like, "Oh, it's just getting books. Oh, I'm glad you're doing so well in school."
Fucking brilliant.
I've been to that bar.
And then there was a strip club
That's still there.
in Nebraska. No, not at all. It got bought out by some sports bar from Vegas, and now they completely redid it. It looks like shit.
I liked the library because
amazing.
if I remember right, there were schoolgirl uniforms in the library.
I liked it because their decorations, decor looked like books on bookshelves.
Yeah. And it was like, because it was like, so the library was here on that corner. Like Mill went like this. The library was here. Then the Tempe town, like City Hall was
And
like next door to it, or maybe a block,
Be a block
away.
off.
It was walking distance from Dos Gringos.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
I
you were
used to
100% correct.
I used to go
dressed,
down in underneath there to pee.
they dressed up in schoolgirl uniforms and they danced on the bars.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I like that bar.
Yeah, it didn't suck.
That was a fun place.
But they got bought for a nice chunk of change.
Yeah.
And then in Nebraska, there's a strip club called The Office. Honey, I'm going to the office. Okay.
I think I saw something called I Don't Care. Like, where do you want to go? I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I used to like well, Tom Segura tells a story about that strip club named Beef. Like that's like the greatest strip club name ever. Where you want to go? Beef. Like it's so good.
What's the one in Vegas that always has the billboard that's like 99 hot girls and one ugly one?
Well, it's like Dick's Last Resort. That's a great gimmick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like just people are dicks to each other. That's fun.
It's
Yeah.
I like watching the videos where they bring their grandma or somebody that has no idea,
Yeah.
and they just get fucked with, and they're getting all pissed off. And like that's my favorite.
I used to have like, for a long time, I thought about opening my own bar, and I had like different ideas that I would do. One of them was I wanted to do a shithouse poetry competition, where like the stalls in my bathroom would be made out of whiteboard,
See,
and I would leave fucking markers in there. So while you were in there, you could go ahead and just.
In our old place, I wanted to get a porta potty and cut it apart and put the paneling up in our. 'Cause
Inside.
we had a little bathroom, right?
Yeah,
I wanted to put the paneling up in
it's a great idea.
in our bathroom and just let people write
Yeah.
the poetry.
Just leave a Sharpie and a string
Yeah.
hanging from each wall.
Yeah,
But I wanted it to have the porta potty feel.
Yep.
Put a heater in there.
Well, I thought about doing it for a bar because that way at the end of the night, I would go in there and I would judge the shithouse poetry, and whoever had the best one, they would get like a last call pitcher of beer or something.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
You do.
like,
Like 1:30, you pick the winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, like if you want to do this, it's all good. You know,
Right.
And don't fucking don't scratch shit in. Don't be a
Right.
dick. But
Yeah.
go ahead and if it's good, man, I'm gonna take pictures. I'm gonna put it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll decorate my bar with pictures of your fucking poetry if you're respectful and don't like fuck it up.
I mean, that's
You know what I
that's
mean?
your daily social media post.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like and I don't know. I always thought
What's
it was
that
a
place
fun
in
idea.
where's that? It's somewhere in Texas. Arroyo, and they have like a letter billboard outside, and they put crazy fucked up sayings on it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and it gets shared all over social
all the
media.
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's always like soup of the day, beer.
yeah,
Something
yeah,
like that.
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. Which I actually have in my bar that I wrote.
Soup of the day beer.
Yeah. It's like
One of my favorite ones is free beer tomorrow.
that's a good one.
Yep.
That's a
Because you come back in tomorrow and it
Yeah.
still says free
My-
beer tomorrow.
my friend Terry, her and I, we bartended together for years. Like we were basically partners when it came. Like she would get hired at a bar and be like, "Hey, I'm going to bring my guy over,"
Yeah.
and then I would end up going there, and vice versa,
Yep.
and all this. We would just get each other jobs all the time, right? You know how that is in that
It's-
industry.
It's almost too easy.
Well, because you start
And-
flowing with another bartender, and it's like, dude, I fucking crush money when I work with this person.
And bars always need another good bartender.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. So we did that for years in Baltimore, like probably the last 3 years that I lived there, and she was always really good about coming up with funny fucking sayings
Yeah.
and stuff to write on the sign outside and shit and all that. And Soup of the Day beer was one of hers, and yeah,
That
Yeah.
reminds me of a funny story, another fun story that got brought up when I was in Boston. So I used to work at this bar called the Landing Pub, and it was owned by a brother and sister, Bobby and Liz. It was a family thing, but Bobby and Liz ended up taking over everything. It was a Greek family. They had a pizza joint next to it, Ultimate Pizza. But the whole place burnt down after I worked there. But when I worked there, this place is a fucking gem. There's a river that ran underneath the building.
Yeah.
And it rotted out the floor. So there's a hole in the floor. And if you didn't know about it and you weren't paying attention, or like me, if you drank during your shift, you'd eventually put your foot in it and then fall through the floor halfway at least. And so I did that a few times. But then there's video footage, security footage of me one night. I think, I can't remember if it was a raccoon or if it was a possum that came up through the floor, and I'm fucking chasing it around the bar with a broomstick after closing. I was trying to close up, but I couldn't set the alarm because of the motion detectors. So I had to get this thing to go either out the door or back through the hole before I could close the bar. So it was like a 30-minute fucking video of me chasing this fucking thing around.
I had to put that thing on time lapse and just fucking put that
right to the Benny Hill theme song. Absolutely. But so when we went in there, we were hanging out for a little bit because I try to stop in and see him every day. They have a new place. It's called Bates, and it's a restaurant bar, and the food is absolutely phenomenal. It really is. So if you're ever on the South Shore of Massachusetts, go to Bates in Weymouth Landing. But so we were sitting there, we were talking with Liz, and we were just bullshitting about old stories. So it's like, yeah, we used to have snowball fights in the old bar, and we did. And we used to kick people out all the time. We were one of the only bars I've ever worked in, ever, and it was definitely not legal, but we would do beer pong tournaments and we would advertise them. The winner get free Sots tickets or Pats tickets or something.
Yeah.
But we use beer in the cups, and you cannot do that in a bar. That violates like every liquor law in every fucking state, no matter what. Yes. Yeah. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
But we got away with it because everyone just kind of kept their mouth shut.
Yeah, we did
like,
full
this is a
beer pong
jam,
tournaments,
right?
For a while.
But we did it every fucking week for like ever.
We did that in Flip Cup.
The last time I was in Granada,
Yeah.
the hotel we stayed at, there was a bar right next door, and they were doing a beer pong.
Yeah.
And it was, I know they had beer in
Right.
those cups because fuck.
But so she was telling us a story. She was telling Mal a story about one time when we went down to Foxwoods, and we might have been a little high on the way down. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
To the point where we're driving down, and it's like an hour and a half drive, and we're probably like 45 minutes, almost an hour into it. And Liz is driving. I'm in the passenger seat. We got one of Liz's friends in the back seat, and she's like, "Oh shit, I think that's a cop up there." And instead of slowing down, she comes to a complete fucking stop on a 4-lane highway. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, there's a cop up there. And I'm like, yeah, and he totally knows you're stopped right now. Like,
what a fucking idiot. That's great.
But that trip is when I tried to figure out how to play craps. And I've told you this story, but I didn't put context to this story. So we get down to Foxwoods, and we're retarded. And so we go to fucking gamble, right? And I'm like, you know what? And I'm like, I'm going to learn how to play craps today. And she's like, good luck, and walks off. So I walk up to a craps table, and I stand there, and the guy's like, oh, you want to bet? And I'm like, nope, just trying to figure it out. The guy's like, okay. He's like, well, just, pay attention. If you have any questions, let me know. And I stood there at that craps table, mute, for 45 minutes. And all I learned was bet the pass line.
Bet the pass
that was
line.
it.
Bet the pass line and give me 10 on hard 8.
Nope. Nope. Just the pass line. That's all I learned for 45 minutes. Yep.
That's fun. Yeah, I'm a degen gambler. I still don't understand craps all the way.
I don't either.
So my downfall with craps now is I understand it. And I know all the little inside games and the bet on top of bet and the game inside of games and all the little fucking intricacies and bullshit about craps. And two things. One, I don't have the bankroll to play craps how you're supposed to play it.
Right.
Right. I can't put $5,000 out every fucking roll. Right.
Yeah.
But
because that's literally how it's designed.
there's ways that you can do it and you can play where you're kind of gaming the system and you have a more probable than not chance of coming out ahead.
Yeah. Not
winning, not making bank. But if you play it enough with enough of a bankroll and enough time, you can win more than you lose.
Right.
But my problem is I would never win big, but I could play for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And I didn't lose. I'm not putting money in every fucking time.
I have witnessed, like, we've spent nights in
But
Vegas.
I'll get on a fucking craps table at 10 p.m. and next thing I know, the sun's coming up and I'm legless, shit-faced.
Yeah.
But I still got chips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So
that's just a good hack to get free booze in Vegas.
I've sworn off craps.
Yeah.
I won't play craps anymore.
Okay.
Every time I walk in and I see a table, I walk around and I'm like, ooh, that's only got a $10 limit. I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Well,
you know it's an endless fucking.
That's it. It doesn't stop.
because I know when John walks up to a craps table, I have the next 3 to 4 hours
Minimum.
to myself.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm not like a genius. I don't win.
We went to a charity banquet once that had a casino night, and they had a craps table.
And I sat at that craps table all night.
And you were there the whole fucking
And
time.
it wasn't my money, but because it wasn't my money, I had a fuckload of chips.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and basically how it worked is like the more chips you could trade it. Like what was
It
it?
was every $1,000 in chips, you got
A ticket
a ticket,
for a raffle.
and then but it was a separate raffle that was only based on your winnings.
yeah.
Or you
Remember,
could just take I think they gave you 5,000 chips
'cause I
and
went
you
over-
could just cash them in and get 5 tickets.
I went over to the poker table